Welcome to CITAM Church Online. This is Pastor Karita Mbagara, the senior pastor in CITAM Karen. Today, I want us to talk about Thanksgiving. In the Bible, in the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 18, the Bible tells us, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you." By that statement, we can deduce that thanksgiving is pleasing to God because it causes us to fulfill what is His will. And when we do what is God's will, God is happy. And it is something that we should do according to the verse, in everything. That is to say, in each and every situation, whatever it is that we are facing, we should learn to give thanks. The Bible teaches us, therefore, that thanksgiving should be an attitude that we adopt for life. But this is made even more clear when you read Psalms 107, which has a refrain that is repeated in verse 8 of that psalm, verse 15, verse 21, and verse 31. The verse actually says, "Let them give thanks to the Lord for His unfailing love and His wonderful deeds for mankind." Now, that Psalm 107 recounts the experience of the children of Israel in the wilderness, where they encountered different challenges. And every time, the narrator tells us that God came through for the people of God, and they were able to overcome the challenges. And therefore, they should give thanks because of the deliverance of the Lord. In verse 22, it actually tells us, "Let them sacrifice thanks offering and tell of His works with songs of joy." Three things that come out here. That it should be a sacrifice. When you talk of something that is sacrificial, it means that it is abundant. In other words, you give thanks abundantly. But we are also told that it should be something that we tell. In other words, we give testimonies about what God has done. It's a way of acknowledging that God has been gracious to us. And it tells us that we should do it joyfully. It should not be grudgingly. Life is just like that there are times we have highs and we have lows. But when the Lord delivers us, we should take the opportunity to give thanks because of His goodness. But we don't only give thanks when things are good. We give thanks because of what God has already done. For example, by just being alive, that is a blessing of God. The fact that you are alive reminds you that you are obligated to give thanks. You are a creation of God. God has done something by keeping you alive. So whether you are in a high or a low, already you have a reason to give thanks. The other reason why we should give thanks is that when we do it, God blesses us. There is an account in the book of Luke chapter 17, if you read from verse 141, from verse 11 to verse 19, Luke tells of the 10 lepers that were healed. And there is this one that came back to give thanks to Jesus. And because of that, he was blessed more than all the other 9 that did not come back to give thanks. And so when we give thanks, we are going to be blessed. We are going to be declared right before God. I think the other thing to mention about thanksgiving is that when we give thanks, we are becoming more like our Creator. Jesus Himself was a model of this par excellence, because whenever He was praying, He gave thanks. If you can see this in John chapter 6, verse 11, as He is praying for food to be increased, the Bible tells us that He gave thanks. Again, John chapter 11, verse 41 to 42. He gave thanks before raising Lazarus. And I see something here, that God, when we give thanks, will perform a miracle on our behalf. In the case of Jesus, He gives thanks. The bread is increased so that it feeds thousands of people. Secondly, He gives thanks, and Lazarus is raised from the dead. It seems to be suggesting that every time we give thanks, God is at work on our behalf to bring something that is good. I would hope that you will learn to give thanks to God no matter what is happening. We owe everything to the benevolence of God. Therefore, let us give thanks to God for who He is, but also for what He has done for us, and let us emulate the character that we see of Him as portrayed by Jesus. And this way, we will be fulfilling what He desires of us. In everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God, every day, every hour, every time. And may the Lord bless you as you give thanks to God. Let me hear what you think about what I have said using the social platforms that are listed here below. And God bless you as you give thanks.